Hey everyone, it's Rich Bennett. Can you believe it? The show is turning 10 this year. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who've tuned in, shared an episode, or even joined the conversation over the years. You're the reason that this podcast has grown into what it is today. Together, we've shared laughs, tears, and moments that truly matter. So I want to thank you for being part of this journey. Let's make the next 10 years even better.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch
It's probably the least sexy part of organizing. It's okay. No. The truth is,
what do you get when a burnt-out journalist trades his notepad for a mic and reinvents himself as a digital trailblazer? You get Seth Goldstein, a guy who went from chasing headlines in the newsroom to helping entrepreneurs find their voice in the podcasting world. Today, Seth's not only the host of the hit podcast Entrepreneurs Enigma, he's also the brain behind Podcast Mastery, where he helps brands build authority, connect deeply, and convert listeners into clients. So if you've ever thought about starting a podcast or taking yours to the next level, this is the conversation you need to hear. So grab your drink, whether it's coffee, a bourbon, whatever, and listen up, because this is going to be a good one. You're going to learn a lot of things, not just about the journalism career. He's also dives into, we'll probably dive into the digital marketing area and a lot of other things. So it's going to be fun. How's it going, Seth?
How's it going, buddy? This has been fun. We had a 20-minute conversation before this. I mean, we should charge it for patrons. Like have a special, shoot the poop session up front.
You can say shoot the shit. It doesn't matter.
I'm talking to a former Marine, so it's fine.
Yeah. Plus we talked to a lot of people in recovery. I've had Italian women from Jersey on here. So,
you
know how it is.
You're fine. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So I always love to ask this question.
Yeah.
Back in high school, what was it that you wanted to do when you got out of high school?
That's a good question, because at that point, I wanted to do web design.
Okay.
2000, digital marketing didn't exist really. Mm-hmm. But in high school, I ran the school paper.
Oh, really?
Everyone knew I was going to be a journalist before I did. Everyone knew I was going to be a journalist.
Wow.
And when I left journalism, everyone knew I was going to then be a digital marketer. Everyone knew. Every career I've had, people have known that's where I was going to go before I did. Even podcast coaching and podcasting, people are like, you should be on the radio. I'm like, really? And sure enough, I've been doing podcasting for 15 years now. Mm-hmm. So like every step in my journey has been like almost like predetermined almost. It's very weird. But I wanted to go into marketing. I wanted to be an admin, man. I wanted to be from the mad the bourbon, do the ads and stuff like that. Went to the University of Delaware. Didn't want to do business school. Didn't want to do marketing, and I wanted to do marketing, but I didn't want to take the accounting courses and all the math. I'm not a math person. Mm-hmm. So I decided that I was going to do history. The only thing you can do with that is teach and waste your parents' money. But still, I wanted to do the history. And then, but they had a concentration in journalism, which was almost a major amount of time you spent at school paper. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and I begged and pleaded with the professor, the head of the department, of the journalism department, because it was that popular, to let me in. And I got in my sophomore year of college into the journalism program there, which was under the English department. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. I talked to now retired former President Joe Biden on the phone, because he's a Delaware alumni.
Right. He
was then Senator Biden, so Senator, VP, President, now retired President. I like to call him retired. The guy needs to retire. So he retired. So good. But great guy. Regardless of you think of his politics, the guy is a sweetheart.
Right.
He's a good dude. And he's from Scranton. So he's from, he's north of me. But he's a good, honest guy. Mm-hmm. Say what you will about him, but I like the guy. talked to him on the phone about some bill he was putting through Congress because he's walking by his press secretary who I was talking to because I was working for the school paper at the University of Delaware. He's like, he was on the phone. She's like, Seth from the University of Delaware Review. He said, oh, put me on. He picks up, he's like, this is Joe Biden. I'm like, oh my God. Hi, Senator Biden, how's it going? And we shot this shit for like an hour.
Right.
Talking, he's like, how's the school going? How is the old stomping ground? Because he went to school there. And then we talked about the bill and all that. I don't remember what the story was. It's up there in my portfolio of news clippings. It wasn't even that big of a story, but the fact that I talked to Joe Biden, that got me hooked in journalism.
Right.
Like, I have access to people. So that the next 3.5 years, I was all in on the school paper. I started the Delaware Politics and Law Review. That lasted 2 or 3 issues because I was kind of like, that's hard to do, to run a whole paper.
Yeah.
I then got out and started working for newspapers in the area. Up in Pottstown, I worked out one in southeastern Pennsylvania, south central Pennsylvania, and then I worked for ones in southeastern Pennsylvania as well. So the Calkin newspapers and stuff.
Okay.
So I did that for 6 years. Massive burnout because I lived it. I mean, I was young. I had no life. That was my life. Overdid it. To this day, I see fire on TV. Like a structure of fire burning.
Right.
I can smell the fire in my nose.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure you as a Marine, there's certain smells.
There are, yeah.
Certain visuals you can see that you'll get the other senses kicking in. The taste. We were talking about, in the Marines, how they put you through the gas chamber. I'm sure if you smell pepper spray, you're right back there.
Oh, I see it, and I feel like I can smell it. Yeah, exactly. Like on TV, if you see people getting pepper sprayed, I feel like I can smell it.
You know it.
Yeah.
You know that smell. Like, I know structure fire.
It's weird.
Like, it's so weird. And like, I was just watching the morning show on Apple TV, and they were covering the Los Angeles fires in, what was it? 2019.
Right.
And there's one clip like this, very quick. I love how this is great for audio listeners, hearing the clicking of whatever. We'll go with it. But it was a structure fire. And I looked at my wife, I'm like, I smell that. She's like, you're weird. I'm like, I am.
Well, I wouldn't say it's weird. You lived it.
I lived it. I've seen plenty of houses burned down.
Yeah.
Literally, I had 16 years of PTSD from that damn job.
I believe it.
Literally. I mean, there was times when I couldn't, I to this day, I can't watch Chicago Fire. Cannot watch it. And I wasn't a firefighter, but I was a cops and police reporter.
Right.
So I saw gnarly things.
God, man. Car
accidents for the longest time. I get by them, pull over, hyperventilate for like 5 minutes. Because firefighters, police officers, military even, if you need counseling, you don't go for counseling because you guys are knuckleheads, but you have it available.
Yeah.
Journalists.
Well, we do now.
Yeah, but now I get to do the effing obituary the next day. Yeah. That was my counseling. I mean, I have books full of obituaries.
God.
And I can go back through those obituaries and say, I remember that accident. And a lot of times I would go up to these scenes, drive out to like an hour out because there's nothing out there besides cows. Right. Most of the people, I never saw murder victims or anything like that. There's bodies and dead people and cars wrecks and stuff. People going too fast on these roads. And I would go too fast on these roads to get to see the person who got into irony is not lost to me. And I remember this one I went up to, and I had to deal with all the stadies out there, all the state troopers that like they had to wear their Boy Scout hats. I know they don't like me calling them Boy Scout hats. I got screamed at plenty of times for that. But they're Boy Scout. The state troopers in Pennsylvania had this like the Boy Scout military hats.
Yeah, the drill instructor hats.
Exactly, the drill instructor hats, and they had to have them on if they were in pictures. But they're not going to put them on unless they need to. Right. So I would come up, I could pull up, I'd say, "Who's here?" And they say, "Joe, Steve, Bob." I'm like, I'd scream, "Joe, put your fucking hat on, you dipshit!" This is to a state trooper who could arrest me right then. And he's like, "Fuck you!" He goes into his car and gets his hat on. He's like, "Oh, am I good?" No, what happened? There's one time I got up to an accident scene. No one told me it was a fatal. Oh, shit. And so I immediately went in and started heaving into the bushes. Because if I prepared myself for what I was going to see, I was fine. Until that night, and I cried myself to sleep. But at night, I'd call my mom and cry myself to sleep. Because it's gnarly stuff. But on the flip side, I have fun stories where I was in Gettysburg on my day off. I worked like 6 days a week. So Saturday was my day off. It was in Gettysburg. It was with my buddy from home, and we were walking around. I was literally like, that's what I did on my weekend. I would go to Gettysburg. I knew that park like the back of my hand because all I did is there's nothing to do out there.
Right.
So I would go walk around Gettysburg. I was a history major. I loved it. But I was out there. All of a sudden, cops, state troopers, fire engines are rushing to the center of town. Apparently, someone left a suitcase next to the Abraham Lincoln J. Seward Johnson statue. And so I sent my friend back behind the police line. I always carried my press pass with me. So and I knew everyone there. So I was like, hey, I had the next telephone. Beep, beep. Hey, Mark, this is Editor Chief. I'm like, there's a story here. I'm covering it just to let you know. Potential suitcase bomb in Gettysburg. He's like, all right, be safe. Of course, I'm behind a hook and ladder. Way too fucking close to this bomb if it goes off. Like, way too close. If it's a nail bomb, I'm screwed. I got nails all.
You're not screwed. You're hammered.
I'm hammered. Exactly. Turns out, so the little robot comes out, pokes at it, and nothing goes off. We're all like, great. They open it up. It's a bunch of stiletto heels.
Huh?
Someone was playing a practical. Thought it'd be funny to put a joke on them.
Oh man!
It was a prank. It was a hoax. So I went back. It was the most fun story I ever wrote. Front page of the local paper. I have it up there. I should have pulled it down, but it was like, what does a suitcase full of stiletto heels and a bunch of police have to do with Gettysburg on a day? I can tell you right now, it's an Abraham Lincoln or some stupid thing like that. I had fun with it, and so I lived in journalism like to the fullest. I loved it. I miss it, not enough to go back to it,
right? But
I miss it. And I'll watch like the morning show, which I never did. I never did TV. I did news, like hard news and newspapers. But like when they get recognized on TV and they're like how embarrassing that is, like, oh my God, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
The only time someone would know who I was is if they found out my name. And they're like, oh, you're Seth. I read you every day in the paper. It's happened like 5 or 6 times because you're a local celebrity in that local area. They're like, hey, I know your stuff. I read your column, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't know what you look like until they meet you at the laundromat.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right.
So that was fun. And then I left journalism. Then my now wife, my then fiance, was like, well, this whole time I've been doing digital marketing on the side. I've been making websites, doing stuff, having fun, because that was my love I wanted to do in the beginning.
Right.
And so she's like, start a business. 2008, best time to start a business. No. And so started a business to get a job. 17 years later, I'm still doing it.
Still doing the web design and all.
Web design, digital marketing, SEO, all that stuff I'm still doing. Come 2010, I had been listening to podcasting when I left the newspaper out in Hanover, Pennsylvania, my editor's like, you should go on the radio. I'm like, are you crazy? Have you heard what I sound like? He's like, you're going to go on the radio at some point. Again, premonition of the future. Like I was going to do something with audio and stuff like that. And so fast forward to 2010, everyone's podcasting. The second renaissance of podcasting is coming out. Mm-hmm. 2005 was Curry and Leo Laporte. All those guys were doing the podcasting back then. 2010, the technology caught up where I could just do it easily with Hangouts on Air and Google+, all that stuff. So I did that, and I've just been doing podcasting ever since on the side. Come a year ago, I'm on a platform called Alignable, which is all small business. All small businesses and stuff like that. Everyone and their fucking grandmother does digital marketing.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? How I set myself apart. I'm like, well, I've been coaching people on the side on how to do good podcasts and how to set their cadence, how to set this format of the show, the cadence being how often it's going to come out.
Right.
Set expectations. Is it going to be scripted? Is it going to be an interview show? All that stuff. And also, on the other side, how not to be a dickhead when you're trying to be a guest on someone's show. Like, literally, how to do it right. How to pitch people correctly. Because you and I both know we get pitched constantly by PR people.
Yes.
They say, oh, listen to this last show. They fast forward through to a point of the show that they think is good to mention. Mm-hmm. I was a journalist. I know their tricks. It's all bullshit. You listen to my show. So I have a 99-1 rule, 99% to 1% rule. If you're a PR person, you have 1% chance of getting your person on the show.
Yes.
99% chance is the person who pitches me themselves. At least get a phone call with me to get on my top 3% podcast, according to Listen Notes.
Right.
Yeah, right. Whatever the hell that means. I mean, not to knock it. I have like 1,000 listeners a month listen to my show, like 1,200 to 2,000. It's not the top 3% of all podcasts in the world. Thank you very much. But, maybe an entrepreneur category on listening notes on that particular day that it looked at it.
I can't figure out their numbers neither, man.
I mean, you're number 5%. Like I beat you by like 2%, but it's like it might be that hearty laugh or something. People are like, I just want to hear Rich's laugh. I don't know. Who the hell knows?
You know what? And the thing is, I always said that because a lot of people will say, well, yeah, I have a successful podcast because we're in the top 1%. That doesn't mean it's successful. Hell, you can at least release, according to listen notes from what I've seen some people only have 5 episodes and they're in the top 1%. How the hell is that?
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's so bullshit.
Exactly.
And a lot of people come to me as clients and they're like, I want to be the next Joe Rogan. I'm like, then go get a show on primetime TV, coach, MC UFC fights, and bring your audience. Yeah. Or be Howard Stern, who's been in radios for since the Stone Age. Like, you have to come with an audience to be successful, like at that level. These are pro podcasters, or pro radio people that come with a show and have built an audience. You can build a successful brand and only have 300 people listen to you on the regular. But if those 300 people are the people that are engaged with you and want to listen to you and will buy from you for what you know, that's all that matters. You don't need to be the best of the best of the best of the best. You just have to be the best to the people who want your stuff.
Yes.
That's all it is.
I've had somebody told me that before, said they wanted to be the next, or no, they asked me if I wanted to be the next Joe Rogan. I said, no, I want to be myself. Yeah. I mean, why would I no.
And who the hell wants to listen to who wants to listen to 3 hours of anything?
Well, I got to admit, I do. Well, I won't listen for 3 hours straight.
No, that's the thing.
But
I will listen bits and pieces. Yeah.
Here's what I tell people that want to get into podcasting, and you'll see it a lot of times in some of these podcasts.
Don't talk for 3 hours.
Well, no, a lot of these people in podcasting forums are like, well, should I do like part 1, part 2, part 3? My thing is this. When it comes to podcasting, there's something that podcasts have that radio doesn't. Yeah. And that's a pause button.
If you're a podcast host or someone wanting to be interviewed on podcasts as a guest, visit podmatch.com. Podmatch automatically connects ideal podcast guests and hosts together for interviews. We always say it works just like a dating app, but instead of connecting you for dates, it connects you for podcast interviews. Podmatch has connected over 85,000 guests and hosts together for interviews that listeners love, all while saving you countless hours of administrative work through built-in automations. If you're ready to level up your podcast interviews on either side of the mic, start today by visiting podmatch.com.
Yeah, God bless. Thank God.
Yes,
because I like you're Joe Rogan's my Leo Laporte in the Twit network. If you're listening to Leo Laporte on the Twit network, This Week in Google, This Week in Tech.
No, I've heard podcasts about it though.
But he goes on talks about tech for like 2.5, 3 hours. Yeah. I will turn it on in the morning, listen to a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'll get through it in the day, but it's like reading the fucking New York Times in the Sunday edition. Like literally, I mean, you get the Sunday edition of the New York Times. You're reading that sucker all week to get through that pile of a tree. So it's the same thing with these podcasts. Like my rule is 20, 30 minutes. Enough for our basic American commute. Right. In and out. My podcast lasts 20 minutes. If they go 36 minutes, you better be damn good to get that much airtime on my airwaves.
You know what the weird thing is? One of my most listened to episodes, now this was years ago, it's no longer like that now, was one on the weather. Oh, it was about 2.5 hours, and I had no idea, or 2 to 2.5 hours. I had no idea it was that long. We just got so wrapped up in the conversation, but it was one of the most downloaded episodes or listened to episodes. Yeah. I'm like, what?
Go figure. You're like, wherever floats your boat.
Guys. It was weird. It was weird.
I've had Guy Kawasaki on my Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast, the Apple Evangelist, now Canva Evangelist, multi-book person, 16 books under his belt. I've had Rand Fishkin, who's a big marketer. I've had a lot of big names on my podcast. People are like, how did you get them on? I'm like, I just asked. Yeah. I know a guy who his first podcast of his show, which is not very successful, was Seth Godin. before he was improving, he said, "Hey Seth, will you be on my show?"
Right.
He's
Wow.
like, "Sure." He apparently had nothing to do that day.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Sure, I'll be on your show." His first guest.
Wow.
My first guest wasn't even my mom. Like seriously, yeah. I mean, I've got some Jason Falls on my show. Full disclosure, Jason Falls is a big time marketer.
Mm-hmm.
He also runs the podcast network that I'm on. So it's kind of like I have his cell phone number. I'm like, hey, I need to fill a spot. Can you come on?
Right.
He's been on my podcast 3 times. He's the only one that's been on 3 times. Interesting guy. He's from Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh wow. Oh God.
You think you have a Southern draw? He's got a Southern draw. You have a Maryland draw.
I know. When I was in radio, I heard it. I still hear it from my wife. You got that Baltimore accent. Well, I'm from Baltimore, first of all.
Yeah, you're just below you have the Mason-Dixon line accent.
Yeah.
Or the South Central Pennsylvania has the same accent you do.
Uh-huh.
And you look at people in South Central, you're like, we're above the Mason-Dixon line. They're like, I don't know. Like, seriously.
I want to go back a minute. I want to, because I also used to do web design. And when I got into it, Dreamweaver was a big thing.
Oh, I love Dreamweaver. Yeah.
I was going to ask, when you first got into, because you said 2008, was it Dreamweaver or was WordPress even around yet?
WordPress has been around since 2004.
Okay.
I got into WordPress in 2010, but I've been designing since 1998 in Dreamweaver. Because I started in high school. I started web design in high school.
That's about the same. Yeah. Okay.
I started web design in high school. I went to school to do web design and do all that stuff, and that didn't exist as a curriculum.
Right.
No one knew what the hell that was until 2005, until Facebook came out. And then people were like, "Oh, that's a whole new nascent industry. Now it's an evil industry." But leave that alone. But it's been fun times.
Is WordPress still your favorite to use?
It is. It's controversial right now because the head of the foundation and head of WordPress.com is a little bit of a schmuck. Honestly.
Oh, really?
Matt Mullenweg has kind of not made himself very popular in this space, but that's a whole podcast. I mean, if you just look at Matt Mullenweg WordPress,
yeah,
you'll be reading stuff for days about the shit he's been doing.
Oh God!
Literally, it's getting better now. It's getting better now. So.
I love that. Matter of fact, there's so many plugins, and the ones I see, and I'm not going to mention the names, but some of these so-called website experts that use that square one and that that other one that begins with W, you know, and
I'll say it, Squarespace and Wix.
Yeah. Oh my God,
they're awful. They're awful.
They are, and you can tell somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, especially when it comes to one of them, and you go to click on the social media icons. Yeah. And it doesn't even take you to, it takes you to Wix's Facebook page or Squarespace. It's like, come on, people, study.
And that's not Wix or Squarespace's problem. It's the people who use it's problem. Still, it's like, well,
it's these people that say they're website design experts that are using it and selling the people on it.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like, use WordPress. So we know how much that has changed. You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. Hey, are you looking for a place where voices from all over the world come together? Well, look no further than the Chesapeake Podcast Network. We've got podcasts in every genre, from comedy to health, interviews to news. There's something for everyone. And for all you podcasters out there, it's free to join. Plus, we're more than just a network. We host monthly virtual networking meetings where you can connect, collaborate, and grow with fellow creators. So sign up today at ChesapeakePodcastNetwork.com and get ready to join a global community. But with the digital marketing, since you've gotten into it, what's the biggest change you've seen besides AI, of course?
Well, AI, but Google changes every week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know.
With or without AI, it's like whack-a-mole.
You're right.
It is whack-a-mole. It's like they say, don't do this, and the next week they say, do this. And they're like, well, make up your freaking mind. Do I want to do it or do I not want to do it?
Yeah.
Don't spam us. One thing that's always been true is write good content.
Yeah.
Don't use AI content. Write good content, and Google will eat it up.
One of the things that scares me, especially in the podcasting world, because Google owns YouTube, and you had Google Podcasts, which they got rid of, which I don't understand why, because it was doing good.
Yeah.
And you're seeing all these podcasters say that you got to do video, you got to be on YouTube.
Yeah, I have a face for audio.
Yeah, me too. But you have some podcasters.
I'm still in video. I still do video for one of my podcasts. Yeah,
but there are some podcasters out there that'll only do video. That's it, and stay on YouTube.
Well, it's not video. That's not video. That's not podcasting. That's not.
No, it's a vodcast.
It's a podcast. It's a YouTube video. You have to have an RSS feed. It has to come out in audio or video RSS. It has to be able to be pulled outside of YouTube. It can't just be on YouTube to be a podcast.
But what scares me about it, you saw Google get rid of Google Plus. You got rid of the Google Podcast.
Oh, they like to kill stuff.
Who's right? And who's to say they won't get rid of the podcasting or YouTube, or get rid of YouTube all in general?
It makes them too much money.
Well, I mean, they won't get rid of that.
I just wrote something for my Marketing Junto newsletter. My marketing newsletter called Marketing Junto. Goes out weekly because I have nothing better to do. 2 podcasts, one's monthly, one's weekly, and a weekly newsletter, and all this other stuff. But in Marketing Junto last week, I wrote about YouTube's 20 years old now. Jesus. It's 1 year away from being able to drink.
It'll drive some people to drink it.
Well, legally.
Yeah.
Actually, depending on what state, too.
Well, yeah.
Think of it.
Damn, I didn't
seriously,
realize that.
20 years. They're not going to get rid of it. It's also the second biggest search engine after Google. People search on YouTube for stuff.
Oh, I know.
So you have to be there.
People even searching on social media for stuff, which...
TikTok.
Oh, TikTok. I think TikTok... Was it... I just saw a report that came out where TikTok almost reached as many people searching as Google did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's all those youngins, those alphas and the Zs.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So
and the boomers too.
Well, yeah.
Both sides.
With podcasting. Now I'm going to love you. I know I'm going to love this answer.
All right.
What are some of the biggest mistakes you see people make that just are now jumping into podcasting?
They don't start. Just get started. Your first episode's going to be shit. Mm-hmm. It's going to be shit. First 3 are going to be shit. And a lot of times they also overpromise, under-deliver. If you think you can only do one a month, do one a month.
Yeah.
It's 12 episodes. And make it known that this is going to be a once-a-month episode. And if you want to do a bonus episode, throw a bonus episode in there. There you have 13, 14 episodes. Don't do what I did and just start podcast. I mean, I've done this for a while, so I knew Entrepreneurs Enigma was going to keep going.
Right.
I'm on 275 episodes. Mm-hmm. But the problem is it's only been one season. I never changed the season. I never took a break. I've been going since 2021
Yeah, neither do I.
on this podcast, and it's just keep going.
Yeah.
But that's one of the biggest mistakes I see is that they don't just start. Also, not having a plan, not having a set topic. I mean, I could go on forever.
Yeah, it's I think a lot of people also don't do their research as well, because you see a lot of them, even the ones that have been doing it for a while, will still record it on their phone. Oh. And speaking of recording on phone, oh God, Seth, we could go on for hours talking about this alone. Tell me some of your pet peeves about guests coming on the podcast.
Not having earbuds. I don't care. I honestly, on your thing, please don't even wear AirPods. I don't care if they're AirPods. I can fix the sound.
Right.
But I don't want to hear myself through your speakers.
Thank you.
That's a no-go. Wear or turn echo cancellation at least. Do something like that.
But sometimes that doesn't even work all the time.
I know. And if you can, I know podcast microphones are expensive, a whole $25.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go out and get a basic microphone to do your podcast on. It's not that hard. Wear earbuds, get a basic podcast microphone. You want to spend $250, go out and get a Shure MV7. Mm-hmm. If you want to spend like $99, go out and get a blue Yeti.
Blue Yeti, yeah.
You can get big. You don't have the fancy ones like we do, but like whatever,
Yeah.
Get a microphone. If you're going to do this to be a guest on podcasts, you should have a podcast mic.
I know. I don't understand what it is with some people not wanting to wear headphones or ear monitors.
I mean, headphones. I mean, these get hot. I mean, I'm wearing.
They do. I wore headphones for a while until I bought the ear monitors. But I mean, and even they're still noise canceling, which I love. I mean, they're not earbuds. They're like what you wear on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I can't tell you how many episodes I've done where I'm sitting there editing, and on their track, I hear me, or sometimes even my co-host, because it's coming through their speakers because they didn't have headphones.
Yeah,
and
that's my biggest pet peeve. Is wear headphones, have a good mic. If you're going to do this more often, make sure you have those two things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then have a decent webcam if you can.
Yeah.
I mean, and have it at the right height. I don't want to be looking up your nose. It's the truth. I don't want to see I don't want to see the bats in your cave.
Right. Oh my God.
Seriously.
Oh, I never even thought about that. But I've noticed that because now mine's, well, look, I'm trying to show you right on the top of my computer screen. But I have the habit, I don't look at the camera. I'm always looking at my screen because that's where you're at.
Yeah.
And sometimes that throws people off.
No, I'm used to people doing that now.
Yeah.
If I look right at the screen like I'm doing right now, at the camera, it's disconcerting to people.
Yeah.
It really is. So I always look at the main person. On Squadcast, which we're on, I hide my video, so I only see you. So I'm not looking to the left or looking to the right, looking at myself. I'm only looking at you. So that way it's just Rich. So I have to pay attention. I don't pick my nose during the podcast because I'm not going to see myself reaching up.
God. Oh shit!
It's the truth.
Though. I know. It's. I mean, I've only had a few episodes to where I didn't release them because it was
awful. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, granted, the one I really couldn't help because it was right when COVID hit. I had just gotten my mixing board, so you could connect a cell phone to it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what happens with cell phones. Sometimes it'll go in and out, even though I wasn't on my cell phone, but the person and the content was so freaking good, man. I felt so bad. Felt so bad.
And you'll never be the same good. Even if you do the episode again, it'll never be that good.
It won't. And I met Fred, and I had another one, somebody that I got on through Podmatch. But where he was, for some reason, it kept cutting in and out. And then when I went to edit, it's like, oh, no, this ain't going to work. So I did contact and said, can we do it again? Yeah. I mean, it took a lot of editing because I was piecing stuff together from the first and the second recording.
Yeah.
But again, the content.
I had the guy who actually introduced me to Guy Kawasaki, good buddy of mine, older gentleman, probably in his late 70s, smart as a tack. But I got his tangents. It went on for an hour. And my podcasts are 20 to 30 minutes.
Right.
He went on for an hour. Never finished a topic.
Okay.
I still published it, but it took me about an hour and a half. I'm usually like 2 minutes to 1 minute of audio.
Right.
I don't edit that much. We're not fucking NPR here. Like, I'm not Terry Gross.
Right.
I'm not like, hi everybody. Now today on the stage show, like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm shooting this shit, having a good time, and it's real, and people enjoy that kind of show.
Yes.
Overly edited shows suck. I want the gaffes.
Oh.
One of the biggest favorite shows of Leo Laporte's is when he's on he used to sit on a podcast, Bouncy Ball, and during his podcast. At one point, it burst and fell, and he left it in. He's like,
things happen, man.
But people like bloopers. Sometimes bloopers in the middle of the show is the best thing.
I learned that the hard way when I first started. I was taking out the uhs, the ums, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then after a while, when I was going back listening years later,
it sounds too choppy.
And it was taken away from the conversation. It wasn't natural.
Yeah.
I like the natural conversation.
I like the ums, the ahs, the Fs, and the shits and all that stuff.
For the longest time, I was even beeping them out.
Oh, God help you. With this show, God bless you.
And I had a guy, Donnie Bovine, but I'm going to butcher his name already. He wrote a book called Fuck the Focus. How can you bleep that out? You can't.
No, that's his fucking book.
Right. Plus, he was a Marine, and, you get us Marines together.
Yeah. Or journalists. We curse like truckers.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just, and even some categories, like we talk about addiction a lot.
Yeah.
When people are telling their story, that language is going to come out.
Yeah.
Let it go, man. Let it roll. That's the way people are talking in person. So,
and it's what people want to hear it real. You just put a bumper at the very beginning saying this was a little salty.
Yeah. Well, I just start now. I just mark it explicit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
all you got to do. If a parent is listening to it with their 3-year-old kid in the car, that's their own damn fault.
Mommy, I learned a new word today from listening to Seth Goldstein's podcast.
And they write me, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, it was marked explicit.
Actually, tell us a little bit about your podcast, Entrepreneur's Enigma.
Entrepreneur's Enigma, which is impossible to say, and even more impossible to spell. So I literally have a key command on my keyboard. I just do EE space, and it spells it out for me because I can't spell entrepreneurs. It's French. It's a podcast about the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So everything from, it's a roller coaster doing your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so the downsides, the upsides, and it's an interview show where I have people on from various industries, different calibers of, small business enterprise, startups, successful unicorns, all that on the show. And it's a great time. Like I said, 20, 30 minutes weekly. I always have to bank a few episodes. So I always have, now I'm good through June, and it's now May when we're recording this. Right. So it's like, I have a lot it's weekly, but I have enough in the hopper that I have like 6 or 7 in the hopper.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to have them in the hopper.
Mm-hmm. I'm the same way. I was just looking before you came on. I counted them up. I think I got 18. Wow. But keep in mind, I drop 3 episodes a week.
Oh, jeez. You're one of those insane people.
Oh, it ain't like, another name I'm going to butcher, so I'm not even going to try. A guy I had on who I think it was Kevin Palmieri, actually. Him and Neil.
There's one to do daily.
Yeah. It's like, now they got a team, though, that edits everything.
Yeah. I listened to the morning stream with Scott Johnson and Brian Ibbett. And that show, the morning stream? They're fantastic every day.
Yeah.
But they don't edit.
No.
They put the bumpers in, and they put the music section in the middle because they're part of ASCAP, so they can do indie in the middle and stuff like that. But they can't play it on YouTube because they get flagged. So if you're watching the YouTube live, they do it live every day, 9 o'clock Mountain Time, live on YouTube. And then Scott goes in there real fast, throws the bumpers in, and it goes with it.
Oh, wow.
Every single day. He's taking this week off because they're all in Vegas for a big convention for the show. So the morning stream is one of my favorite shows. Daily Tech News Show. Daily Tech News Show is a daily fucking podcast about tech news. Every day I listen to it religiously.
I put out a poll for asking my listeners what they would like, and I had a couple of them suggested that I do it every day. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to. Not my other business. There ain't no way in hell.
No, I can do weekly.
Yeah.
I can do weekly, and Digital Marketing Dive, which is a little bit older than Entrepreneur's Enigma, is monthly now. It's on season 4. All
right, so that is seasonal.
That's seasonal because every I don't kill my co-hosts, but they drop out really fast. Every season has had a different co-host with me.
Oh,
okay. And it's been really interesting format. Not planned that way.
Right.
It's just been like they've done like 30 or so episodes with me because this is the first time we were only doing monthly. We used to do weekly. We used to do Digital Marketing Dive weekly along with Entrepreneur's Enigma twice weekly.
So how many co-hosts have you had?
I've had 4.
4. Okay. Oh, okay.
Season 4. So we're on season 4. So 4 hosts.
And nobody co-hosts Entrepreneurs Enigma.
No, that's me and a guest. It's so much easier.
Nobody co-hosts EE with you.
EE, exactly. I don't have to, except for sometimes I hit EE in the and hit enter before I press space, and it gives me, it tells me that's the Estonian suffix for the internet, and I'm like, thank you. I know that by heart now. Thank you very much. Keep on doing it.
Now with this, I do have co-hosts every once in a while.
Yeah, break it up.
Well, it helps, and my goal is that most of them will go off and start their own podcast.
Yeah.
A couple of them, Wendy, I don't really want them to leave. Well, she's going to start her own podcast. She ain't leaving. She's not allowed to. So,
Yeah.
I mean, but it helps. And if you find the perfect one that knows the subject. Oh yeah, you got to. So something else very important, because I mean, you got your hands on everything, but besides doing the podcast, besides doing the digital marketing, the website design, you also do something very important, helping podcasters. Tell everybody about the podcast coaching that you do.
Yes. So after 15 years, I decided, all right, I'm going to be doing this, helping people on both sides of the coin, helping them figure out how to set their cadence of their show. So 3 a week, daily, which I recommend don't do either of those. Weekly, twice a month, or monthly. I usually say you have to at least do it monthly. And so I help the podcasters figure that out. Do they want to have co-hosts? Do they want to have, audience? Like, do you want to do a live stream? How they want to format the show?
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, I help guests not be dicks, essentially.
I love that, man.
Yeah, but how to ask to be on shows, how to have the right equipment to be on shows, where the earbuds, where the, how the microphone, be ready for the show, show up 5 minutes early, which no one ever does. But not even these professional podcasters, they don't, don't get me started on that. And so my goal is to help the guests be, pitch themselves, have a media kit set up, all that stuff.
Right.
And so there's session pricing. So it's like a lawyer, it's like a shrink. I'm right in between the shrink and the lawyer. I say I'm more expensive than a shrink, less expensive than a lawyer. I'm around $250 a session. They're generally 45 to an hour.
That's not bad
in time. And I usually for when you're doing the podcasting side, I usually say pick up 4 sessions up front. I'll give you the 5th for free, because why not? We're already talking. Or on the guesting side, usually I say one or two episodes, 1 or 2 sessions. You're usually ready to rock and roll and come back as you need me.
Right.
And we'll do another session.
So with the guesting part, how many business owners do you get, to help out? Because I personally, and I've always said this, I think if you own a business, you should be on podcast as a guest.
Absolutely, yes. I've helped probably 15 so far.
Okay.
Because it's only been around for a year, and so it's like remembering what it was like to start my business in 2008. It's the same feeling. I'm like, well, I forgot what this feels like.
Right,
Jesus, oh my God. Well, it's ramping up nicely, so it's picking up nicely. It may overshadow the web design business at some point. We'll see.
The way podcasts are growing, I wouldn't.
Absolutely,
but maybe not, because everybody in their right mind still needs a website, and they can't.
At least a one pager. Absolutely.
Yeah, they should not rely on social media as their website. And that's always been a pet peeve of mine. But with the talking about business owners on podcasts, explain to those listening, especially business owners and entrepreneurs, why it is so important to be a guest on podcasts like yours and mine and some others out there.
Because you never know who's going to be listening. And your story is going to resonate with them, and they're going to work with you, or they're going to follow you, and they're going to grow your online presence. You never know who's listening.
Right.
It's really what it is. And you never know what's going to turn into a deal and stuff like that. So,
all right. So answer this one objection for me that some entrepreneurs and business owners will give.
Yeah.
Well, why should I get on that podcast if they're not focused on everybody here locally? They go all over the world.
Because again, you don't know who's going to be listening,
right?
And you don't know if Joe Schmo in Arkansas is going to want to. I don't know why I picked Arkansas, but someone in Arkansas is going to be listening to your show, and you're based up in Philly. Doesn't matter. You might be able to help them. You don't know. You don't know what you don't know until you know.
Something very important. Tell everybody, I love asking this question when it's more than one. Tell everybody your websites and how to get in touch with you.
I can go simple.
Okay.
You can go to social.sethgoldstein.me.
Oh.
And it's everything's there. But if you want the exact ones, you can go to goldsteinmedia.com, podcastmastery.coach, and entrepreneursenigma.com. and digitalmarketingdive.com. So I can give you all of them, or you can just go to social.sethgoldstein.me, and I'll give you everything.
Social.sethgoldstein.me.
It's a link. It's a little link.
Almost like a link tree.
It's like that, but I don't want to pay for Linktree.
Oh, wow. I'll have to check that one out. I never heard of that.
Yeah, I just built it myself.
Oh, okay. Oh, I knew that. I was testing you, man. All right, so
mustache is growing. Mustache is growing back to the ears.
It's growing into my ear. Yeah, exactly. I never thought about that. Maybe I shouldn't do a handlebar.
There you go.
So before I get to my last question, is there anything you would like to add?
No, this has been so much fun. This has been like a great, conversation at the bar. I love it.
Well, hell, if you ever make it down this way, then we'll just have to do it that way.
Absolutely. Well, I'll bring my microphone. We'll do it again.
Oh, I got them. I got them for the in-person ones. We're all set. Don't worry about that.
I'm sure.
I'll even bring the bourbon or whatever. So
there you go.
And
that'll be a fun podcast.
And crab. Oh, that's another story there. So, what is the next big thing for Seth Goldstein?
Oh, that's a big one. I think it's growing the Podcast Mastery community at podcastmastery.community. There's another URL for you. Again, it's also at social.sethgoldstein.me as well. So it's all there.
It's all there. Seth, thanks a lot, brother, man. This has been fun. I cannot wait to talk again.
Oh, we'll definitely stay in touch.
Absolutely.
Be well, my friend.
Thank you for listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something from it as I did. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners and share more incredible stories. Don't forget to connect with us on social media or visit our website at conversationswithrichbennett.com for updates, giveaways, and more. Until next time, take care, be kind, and keep the conversations going. It takes a lot to put a podcast together, and my sponsors help out a lot, but I also have some supporters that actually help me when it comes to the editing software, the hosting, and so forth. There's a lot that goes into putting this together. So I want to thank them. And if you can, please visit their websites, visit their businesses, support them however you can. So please visit the following. Full Circle Boards. Nobody does charcuterie like Full Circle Boards. Visit them at fullcircleboards.com. Real Life Prosthetics. Cutting edge solutions. Restoring ability since 2001. Go to reallifeprosthetics.com. Sincerely Sawyer Photography. Live in the moment. They'll capture it. Visit them at sincerelysawyer.com.